Hello, welcome to Gotham. So, for this video, I've been doing a few repaints lately, and a lot of people have said, oh, they're quite good, how do you do it? So I'm going to tell you my secrets. Over this course of this week, I'm going to repaint this, which I got quite cheap on eBay. It's got quite a few glue marks on it and stuff. So, I'm going to give you the basics of repainting a loco like this. So stay tuned, I'll give you my secrets. First stage is preparation. It's all about your preparation, Dave. So I took the screws off this. I'm gonna take off the body like this. And then you want to get all the windows out, the handrails off, everything that's a detail. I'm going to take the cab out, I'm going to get the lights out, everything. And then on to the next stage. Okay, so we've took all the detail off. The windows are out, the lights are out, the handrails are off, and they're all in this box for safekeeping. Now the next thing you'll need is one of these. This is a glass fibre pen, and it's abrasive. And what we're going to do is we're going to take off all the lettering and all the stripes, the numbers, everything, because when you prime this, if you've got paint underneath like this, you'll see it through the primer, and essentially the finished paint job, you'll see it. So you get this. Now if you're using one of these, be really careful because it's glass and it comes off in little strands, and if you get it in your fingers, you are gonna know about it. It is gonna hurt. It's like a splinter that you can't get out and you can't see. So you might want to put gloves on. Me, I like a challenge. So you just get this. I'm just gonna do this into city sign for you so you can see what we mean, but you just rub it like this. And that gets rid of the paint. You can see there, that's coming off nicely. And you want to do this on the whole body, so you want the stripes, these little down stripes here. You can see the glue on this body as well, so we'll get that off. Not too worried about these ones because that's going to be yellow anyway, but the stripes across the front, I'll show you this when I've done it. Right, next step, I've got this, and you can see I've took all this lining off, and we've sanded it down with that scratch brush so it's nice and flat. And I've got my glamorous assistant here holding the camera. Say hello, Mum.
Hello, Mum.
And the next bit for this is to give it a bath. So you want some warmish water, and you can do it with a cloth. I'm using this nail brush. Just put a little bit of washing up liquid on there, and then just give it a really good clean. Make sure you've got all the dust off it and all that fibre pen stuff. Now the reason I'm using warm water is because it dries quicker. So we give that a good wash, and then we'll just stick it on this windowsill here and just let that air dry. So once it's dry, we'll get it in basement and we'll get it primed, and I'll show you the next step. Right, quick word on spraying equipment. Yeah, I know it's a mess, it's a workshop. What do you expect? So I'm using my airbrush, which is an Iwata. I've got two other ones which do different things. And the paint that we're going to be using for this next bit is this, which is Phoenix Precision, and it's general purpose primer. Now you'll need to thin this down. I go for a 50-50 mix. Usually I kind of mix it up in these little jam jars. It's just normal enamel primer, and the airbrush is running off a little compressor down there on the floor. And yes, it's a mess, but this is where the magic happens. So I'll get my assistant back to hold this while we prime it up. Right, so this is nice and dry now. I've got this paint handle which you just stick in there, and then we've got this normal grey primer which has been 50-50 thinned, and we're just going to give it a quick coat. So I'm going to do this. You want to go nice and light, because you can always put more on. It doesn't take long to dry this stuff. So I'm going to spray away, and while I spray away, cue the montage music. So you get the basic idea. I'm going to give that 4 or 5 more coats, just light coats, and I'll come back to you when it's nice and finished. Hello again. Right, as you can see, this has got a beautiful coating of primer on. We've done all sides. I'm not bothered with the light thing at the front because the lights are going in there, so there's no need to prime that. Now this is the point, when this dries, if you get any imperfections in it, so if you've got any scratches or there's any lumps or anything like that, when this is dry, this is the time that you want to go over it again. You can use the fibre pen to get any imperfections out and stuff like that. But this is kind of what you're aiming for, so you want a nice flat grey finish on it. Now this primer is not going to take very long to dry. This will be dry in about an hour, 2 hours. So I'm going to leave it. I use this block of Oasis because it's nice, because when you've finished handling it on the handle there, you can just stick it in there like that and then leave it. Don't touch it. The temptation will be to keep coming and touching it and saying, oh, is it dry? I'll just touch it. Don't. Leave it. You'll know when it's completely dry because there'll be a nice flat matte finish on it. You can see at this end here, there. It's still a little bit shiny, so that's still wet. So we'll leave that. And then the next bit is going to be the cant rail lining across the top. Now, a lot of people use transfers for that, and I'll show you a dead easy way of not using transfers. You'll get a perfect line. Brilliant. So leave that to dry. Orange next. This is dry. So Humbrol number 18 orange, and we're going to paint the orange round the top where the cant rail line will go. So again, 50-50 mix of thinners and paint. Nice and light, because you can always put more on, but you can't take it off. Done. Right, don't touch it. Don't touch it. Do not touch it. So that, because it's gloss, is going to take quite a while to dry. So this is an overnight drying job now. So we stick it in the Oasis. Leave it. Don't touch it. Good morning. This has been left overnight, and as you can see, the orange there has dried very nicely. Now you might be asking why I've painted it orange, and the reason is for the cant rail. So it's like reverse masking, if you like. So what we're going to do now is mask off that orange along where the cant rail should be, and for that we've got this, which is, it's 0.5 masking tape. This is from Jammy Dog. You can look them up online. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stick this like that where the cant rail should be, all the way around, and I'll show you that once it's on. Oh, by the way, here's a picture of what I'm trying to achieve, because I've realised I've not told you what I'll be painting this HST Power Car livery in. So I'll get that done. Back to you in a sec. Right, that's the masking on for that, and you can see it there. And that took all of about 5 seconds. It's a lot easier than trying to get a transfer on. What I'm going to do now is just get a cocktail stick and just rub that all the way around, just so it sticks really nicely. Get out any little bubbles that might be in it. And you can see from that picture, this is going to be a virgin livery, so this bit here is going to be red. And there's also some white stripes here. There's 3 white stripes here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to paint this bit here gloss white, and I'm going to paint all this front bit here gloss yellow, and this is going to stop any paint from going onto that orange cant rail light. So when you pull that off, you'll get a really beautiful straight nice orange cant rail line, and I think it's a lot better than sticking a transfer on. So I'll get that sprayed up, and I'll show you when I've painted that. Ta-da! By the magic of television. So painted this, which is warning panel yellow from Precision Paints. And if you look at that picture of what we're trying to do, there's 3 white stripes there. So I've painted that white, and then I'll do the same as what I've done with the cant rail, where there's the masking tape on there. So when we spray it all, I think this bit's grey and this bit's red. So when we spray this bit, the white stripes will stay. So I'm going to let that dry overnight, and we'll come back to it tomorrow and do a little bit more.